Pump prices for diesel and petrol? Up. Shipping and freight costs for steel, boards and fittings, system scaffolding? Up. General inflation on anything that needs moving, heating or powering? Up. What's the rescue plan when it goes wrong? Not hope the fire department turn up, but an actual method and drill of rescuing people practiced and planned. Training needs to be better, skills need to be better, modern approaches need to be used. Don't join the race to the bottom. A brutal reminder from India of why safety still has to come first. Welcome to the Lift. Alright, let's talk about the big picture. Money markets and what it actually means for scaffolders listening to this on the way to site, on the way home, people in the industry. New figures shared via NASC and ScaffMag say the global scaffolding and accessories market is on track to hit around $16.3 billion by 2030. Woo! That's up from roughly $12 billion now, growing at just over 8% a year. So despite everything going on in the world, the headline could be, scaffolding as a global business is growing fast. Really? Where's that growth coming from? A few big levelers. First, you've got huge construction and infrastructure pipelines, cities expanding, housing programs, bridges, rail and data centres. And all that needs access and temporary works. That's great, not necessarily in your country. Then there's industrial demand, refineries, petrochemical plants, power stations, so like Sellafield, offshore shipyards. Scaffolding is baked into maintenance and shutdowns on these sites. You literally can't do the work without us. That's why we're the world's greatest trade. And we're seeing a continued shift towards system and modular solutions, pre-planning, engineered access. That often means higher value gear, more design input, more services wrapped around the steels, all of which pushes the market up, not down. The data calls out North America as the biggest market right now, with Asia Pacific and Europe not that far behind, and countries like the US, China, Germany and Australia as key engines. So this isn't just about the UK or a European story, this is global. Now put a pin in that and let's talk about the thing everyone actually feels day to day, the cost of living around the world. Fuel. The ongoing Iran conflict and disruption around the Strait of Hormuz have made this one of the most significant oil supply shocks in recent history. We've seen Brent crude swing from around $70 a barrel before this war to spikes of $119, $127. And even now, it's still sitting higher than we'd like. And it's going to carry on being fluctuating. There's no end. Pump prices for diesel and petrol? Up. Shipping and freight costs for steel, boards and fittings, system scaffolding? Up. General inflation on anything that needs moving, heating or powering? Up. So on the one hand, this story is great. Scaffolding is a growth sector, a growth industry globally. On the other hand, your yard bill and your fuel bill are both saying, yeah, but it's going to cost you a fortune. Your wages aren't going to go as far. Here's how I see it for you as a scaffolding contractor, supervisor, scaffolder, business owner listening to this. Number one, hopefully the work isn't going away, but projects are going to go on hold. Research says the market is expanding. More projects, more maintenance, more complex assets that can be done with only scaffolding access and only decent access. Number two, the Iran-driven fuel spike and general volatility is basically a stress test. The firms that win over the next few years will be the ones who can prove value, not just offer the cheapest day rate and join the race to the bottom. It means planning jobs better, cutting waste or journeys, tightening logistics, maybe embracing new technology such as Alimax SST 300. making labour and transport go further and using resources properly. Number 3, there's a real opportunity here to move up the value chain. If your proposition is we turn up and throw some tube up, you're going to get hammered by rising costs. If your proposition is we design, we plan, we bring predictability and stability, we'll help you finish your product, you're in a much stronger place when everyone's budgets are under pressure. So it's not all doom and gloom, far from it for scaffolding, but we're in a trade where the numbers say it's going to be worth billions more by the end of the decade. But that's sales, because the costs are going up. The challenge for all of us is to run scaffolding businesses and to have careers in a way that actually lets us share in that growth, rather than just absorbing every hit on fuel and materials going. You can't control Iran. You can't control Trump. You can't control how tight your operation is, though, can't you? How well you plan you can control. How you position what you do in the market that is clearly statistically on the way up with a race to the bottom on the side, that is a problem. And that's what we have to deal with. Training needs to be better. Skills need to be better. Modern approaches need to be used. Don't join the race to the bottom. That is madness. Hello. Not every scaffolder is okay. Check your mate. We're all one phone call, one breakup, one diagnosis, one job loss, or one bad night away from ending up in a place we never thought that we could reach. Taking your own life is not for weak people. It's not other people that get affected. It does not care how tough you are, how successful you look, or how well you hide and mask it. The most dangerous lie in society is believing it could never happen to you, your mate, your brother, your sister, your work colleague, or the bloke laughing beside you on the site. No one is truly safe from it. And until we start understanding just how close every one of us really is to the edge, when life gets hard enough and hits you, we will never take mental health and suicide seriously enough to stop burying people too early. Do you know what happens when you die? A load of people cry, a load of people ask why, and you leave behind a mess. It's not the answer. If you think it is, reach out, get help. Samaritans, contact me. Together we're stronger. This is the world's greatest trade and none of us need to suffer. And for all the young people out there that bash on social media, etc., and go kill yourself and all that, yeah? I pray you never ever end up in that position. Okay? Not every scaffolder is okay, as I said. Check on your mate. It's very simple. Let's look after ourselves. Stay safe, people. Take care.
A new service and communication on wellbeing is being launched entitled Silent Voices. Led by Mick Shaw, Silent Voices is a powerful message about mental health and wellbeing in the construction environment. Over to you, Mick.
Hi, my name's Mick Shaw. I'm a new member to the safety team here at Align JV. Along with my normal day-to-day duties, I've got a really, really important message what I want to get out, and I really hope everybody takes their time to listen. Last year alone, 507 hard-working men and women took their own life in this industry because we felt we had nowhere else to go. Out of all the industries in the UK, construction is number one for suicides. 507. We have to get this number down. We must change it, and we can only do it together. I hope you're going to be with me. I'm trying to do this. I'm a very simple guy, but I think I've got a way how we can do it. We dress up in high-vis orange or yellow. We put our rigger boots on. We have to feel a bit rough, a bit tough, and the reality is nothing at all like that. We work a lot of hours together each week, but we'd still sometimes rather trip someone up than pick someone up. It needs to change. We would rather stand back and snigger rather than go over and help. But we just need to be a little bit kinder, a little bit friendlier, a little bit nicer, a little bit more like we're like when we're not in this orange high-vis. when we're just brothers, dads, sons, uncles, sisters, wives, mothers. We need to change. 507 silent voices last year tell us we need to change, and we need to do it now. 507 silent voices are relying on us to do something. Thank you for listening.
For even more context, there were 31 deaths from construction accidents last year, which is indeed a terrible statistic. But suicides in our industry add over 16 times more deaths. 16 times. That's 2 more dead today. 2 more every day.
Not every scaffolder's okay. Check your mate. Please donate 5, 10 or 20. Latte, don't buy it, donate. Let's sort out mental health in scaffolding. Please support and take care, brothers and sisters. Welcome back. So, Sacramento had an incident in February. A suspended scaffold rescue. Let's jump stateside for a minute, because there's a story here out of Sacramento, California, that every scaffolder and access contractor needs to hear. So it's mid-February, 8-story building in the city centre. 2 workers are out on a suspended scaffold, a swing stage, putting up protective netting on the facade of the building. Standard job, standard bit of access kit. And then the platform fails. One side drops, the other side doesn't. You can picture it. The motor or braking system on one end goes out, and suddenly these 2 lads are no longer standing on a nice level deck. They're effectively hanging off the side of the building, clinging on to whatever they can grab to try and save their lives. Traffic stops. People are filming on their phones, cursing modern society. You've got a classic high-angle rescue scenario. 2 workers, 8 floors up, on a twisted, partially failed platform. The good news, and it's rare we get to say this in stories like this, is that the Sacramento Fire Department did the job and rescued them. They got on the scene, secured the area, set up a rescue operation and managed to bring both workers down safely. No serious injuries were reported. That's great. But let's pause right here, right now. Because from a distance, this just becomes dramatic video on social media. Couple of blokes dangling in midair, news anchors saying miracle escape, and then we all scroll on and no one cares. From a scaffolding and access point of view, we need to see this from a different perspective. First thing, this wasn't a tube and fitting collapse or a system scaffold blowout. This was a powered platform failure. The kind of kit that sits somewhere between scaffolding and powered access, and often slips between the cracks on ownership and who's responsible. Who's maintaining those motors and brakes? Who's doing the inspections? Is it the scaffold access contractor? Is it the general contractor? Is it a specialist swing stage firm? I don't know. But what I do know is, what's the rescue plan when it goes wrong? Not hope the fire department turn up, but an actual method and drill of rescuing people practiced and planned. Second, it's a brilliant example of why good rescue capability matters. The only reason we're talking about a near miss and not a double fatality is because somebody in Sacramento had done the work on a high angle rescue with kit, training and coordination at the fire station. You can't plan for 0 failures. Motors will fail, brakes will seize, ropes will tangle. What you can plan for is what happens in the first 10 minutes after that failure. Third, this is a chance for our side of the industry to step up. If you're a scaffolding or access contractor or worker using suspended platforms, put your hand on your heart and ask yourself, when was the last time those hoists or motors were stripped, tested and signed off? If your pre-use check just does it go up and down isn't good enough, or are you actually following the manufacturer's procedures and doing it properly, or are you just signing a form? If you use RAMs, do they include a realistic rescue plan, or is it a couple of lazy lines about emergency services will be called? Because the Sacramento story shows you what good luck and good planning looks like when it all goes wrong, and one's not the other. Luckily, 2 guys go home. Nobody's family gets a phone call they'll never forget. So for me, this is the top US scaffolding story of the last few months. Not because it's the biggest project or the flashiest bit of kit, because it shines a light on a part of access we don't talk about and plan enough, which is revolving around suspended systems, powered gear and rescue plans. If you're listening to this in a van, in a yard, in an office, and you've got swing stages or powered scaffolds on your books, take this as a nudge. If you're a scaffolder, think about your rescue plan. Go and check the paperwork. Go and check the motors on things. Go and check the rescue plan. If it says gotcha kit and you haven't got one, what's the point? Because next time, you might not have a fire department on hand to save the day. And people could die. Rescue plans. We use them every time. Every day people just sign up to them. People may not even see them, but they're there. And they don't work. You've got a plan. You've got to be proactive, not reactive. You've got to stay safe. So, Scaffold World, I want to talk to you about something a bit different, but absolutely connected to everything we do at Scaff Champion on site. You heard me say it before, scaffolding is a global family. We're the world's greatest trade. We travel for work, we travel for competitions, we travel for big jobs in the Gulf and beyond. But wherever we go, we carry the same 2 shadows with us: mental health and war. That's why this year I was doing something visible and something I want you all to be involved in. We've launched Scaffolders Supporting Scaffolders on Just Giving, a campaign built around a head shave and a celebrity scaffolding auction at ScaffChamp. The idea was simple. We raise money for men's mental health in our own industry. And we stood with the people in Ukraine living with psychological fallout of war. Not Ukraine, scaffolders in Ukraine who've been damaged and hurt. Half of what we raised goes to the Movember. You know the name, but it's worth repeating what they actually do. Funding projects around men's mental health, suicide prevention and early intervention. So men don't have to hit rock bottom before anyone takes them seriously. The other half has gone to Mensana Collective for mental health, who will also be making a donation to organisations on the ground in Ukraine, trying to rebuild scaffolders' lives from the inside out. Free psychological rehab for soldiers and displaced families, scaffolders, art therapy and group work for their children, mountain trips and community programmes for those living with the trauma of war. Please remember to like, share and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from. It means a lot and it helps a lot. So, rest of the global news. Let's go. So, welcome back to this Global Scaffolding Roundup. Brutal reminder from India of why safety still has to come first. Scary. The Noida scaffold collapse in India. This next story, it's a hard one. It's a fatal scaffold collapse in Noida, India in February. As a multi-storey construction site in Sector 144, scaffolding gave way and workers fell from height. Initial reports said 2 labourers were killed and another injured when part of the structure and shuttering collapsed. Police detained the site supervisor and the contractor for questioning. And local coverage points to failures around temporary works and support of an under-construction building. Why should that matter to someone in the UK, someone in Europe or the US? Because it's the same pattern we're seeing and recognising everywhere. China, America, Ireland. Temporary works and scaffolding treated as an afterthought. Inadequate design, inspection, supervision, planning. Workers paying the ultimate price when a temporary structure fails. As we talk about skills gaps, training, innovation, incidents like Noida are a brutal reminder that the basics, design, competence, proper supervision and independent inspection still aren't universal and still aren't being put in. If scaffolding wants to be seen as a profession, not a disposable trade, these are exactly the failures we have to eradicate collectively around the world. Thank you so much for watching. That's the end of the episode. We are looking for a major sponsor of this podcast so that we can do more work getting around the world, getting videos, getting stories out there of the world's greatest trade. Please get in touch if you wish to sponsor us. Scaffs, together we're stronger. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe.
Sponsored by Accurate.